Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Marlon Sipo Smith, welcoming you back to another edition of our Success by Choice Leadership Business Entrepreneur webinar series. Listen, I am so excited to be coming to you because last week's webinar, the feedback was outstanding. I want to say thank you so much to everyone that viewed the video, and many of you had even posted your comments and feedback and your excitement. I want to thank you. Especially I want to thank Marcus and Simpiwe and Michael and Ellie and Rama and Jeremiah. Thank you so much. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was awesome just to connect with you. I'm really excited. And I'm excited about the fact that, what we're doing is we're creating an interactive community. I mean, I spoke to Brian, and it was phenomenal to connect with him last week. And one of the things I shared and reiterated with him is that I believe that there's power in synergy. And Brian's vision for entrepreneur.co.za is to create a community where we support each other. And so that's why, again, we're doing these weekly webinar sessions where basically based on your input, we'll be answering questions in future and upcoming webinars. And so I really want to encourage you to go ahead and post your message, post your comments, because that's where we all grow. We learn from each other and we get inspired from each other. So with that being said, I want to talk to you about the power of focus. The power of focus. For you to be an entrepreneur, for you to be a successful business person, for you to be an aspiring entrepreneur who succeeds, you got to have focus. You got to have focus. When I was in school, I went to the University of Virginia and I studied electrical engineering in school. And so I learned a lot about energy and a lot about technology, and I'll never forget. I then later graduated and worked for IBM and Hewlett Packard as a systems engineer. But do you understand the power of focus? If you take a light bulb that's radiating light in 360 degrees, just a regular light bulb, and you focus that light bulb into a beam, it becomes a laser where it can penetrate a wall. That shows you the power of harnessing your attention, being focused on your outcome, being so driven, so passionate about your outcome that you are so focused that nothing can stop you. I know that I believe it was Matthew that asked me a question about, hey, how do you overcome challenges? How do you overcome trials and tribulations when they come your way? And one of the things I said was, hey, everything happens for a reason. But also you got to have that focus where, hey, a winner never quits, a quitter never wins. And when you're passionate about your focus, when you know that you are committed and you are committed to seeing results, nothing and no one can stop you. I'm a firm believer in that. So you got to have that drive, you got to have that focus. So let me ask you a question. Do you have goals? I know you do. You're a winner. You're a leader. You have goals. Sure you do. I mean, you wouldn't be part of entrepreneur.co.za if you didn't have goals. Well, let me ask you another question. Are your goals written down? Come on, raise your hand. Are your goals written down? Be honest. See, some of you have your hand raised, others of you don't. I know. Well, let me ask you this. For those of you that have your goals written down, let me ask you this third and final question. Do you review your goals 3 times a day? Morning, afternoon, before you go to bed. Do you review your goals 3 times a day? I know many of you right now are shaking your heads no. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want you to understand the power of focus, the power of knowing what your outcomes are, the power of knowing what your goals are. Listen, 1953, researchers went to Harvard University. Harvard's one of the premier schools in the world. 1953, researchers went to Harvard University, and they asked their graduating class one question. They said, what are your goals? What are your goals? Out of all the graduating students, all the graduating matrix, 55% of them had a vague idea of their goals and dreams. Some of them said, I want to be rich, I want to live the good life. Those are vague goals. 42% of the graduating class had more specific goals. They said, I want to work for this company, I want to drive this type of car, I want to live in this city. But guess what? Their goals were not written down. They were just up in their mind. Only 3% of that graduating class had their goals written down. That 3% reviewed their goals 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, before they went to bed. 30 years later, 1983, researchers came back to Harvard to find out where the class of 53 had ended up, because the class of 1953 was having their reunion, a 30-year reunion. And guess what they found out? They were shocked. The 3% that had their goals written down, reviewed their goals 3 times a day, That 3% was more wealthy than the 97% of their classmates collectively. Spiritually, they were more in tune. Physically, they were in better shape, and their relationships were more healthy. Here's what the researchers concluded. It wasn't about intellect. It wasn't about intelligence. They all had similar IQ scores. It wasn't about being lucky in life. They all had similar breaks. The only difference was that the 3% had focus. What did they have? Focus. When I read that study, I said to myself, I want to be a 3%er. And so what I did, I'm very visual and I travel a lot. So what I did was I put together my goals affirmation collage. Every single day I look at my goals affirmation collage, and I cut out pictures and I put together a goals affirmation collage, and I've got my long-term goals, short-term goals. I've got my mission statement in my goals affirmation collage. And every single day I look at my goals affirmation collage. And what it does is it allows me to get focus. And I carry this with me wherever I go. See, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want you to understand the power of putting your goals on paper. Some people I've done, as you know, I've spoken in 14 different countries, 45 states throughout the world. And one of the things that I've come to realize is this. When I talk to entrepreneurs and business owners, I take them through a process of getting clear on what are their outcomes, what are their goals. Because you see, sometimes we can get so caught up in the busyness of life that we forget where we're striving to go. And you look up months, years later, and you say, oh my goodness, how did I end up here? So I want you today to answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what is my long-term vision for my company? What is my long-term vision for my company? Number 2, in 10 years from now, where do I see my business being? In 10 years from now, where do I see my business being? And question number 3, what do I have to achieve? What's the most important thing that I have to achieve this week in order to achieve my long-term goals? Okay? Those are the 3 questions I'm asking you to answer. Number 1, what is your vision, long-term vision for your company, for your business? Number 2, in 10 years, where will you be? Where will your business be? And question number 3, what do you have to do this week? What are your top priorities to achieve this week to move closer to fulfilling your true purpose and moving closer to fulfilling your vision for your business and your company? Go ahead, write those answers to those 3 questions and review them. And some of you I know, or some of you are go-getters, some of you are excited about, hey, taking it to the next level. Go ahead and create your goals affirmation collage. If you want me to share steps for how to create a goals affirmation collage, please go ahead and just put it in your comment section after this video concludes. Go ahead and type up a comment. Also, if you want some accountability, go ahead and type, what are your goals for your business? See, remember, it's not about being fragmented. It's about having laser focus. Boom, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to achieve. And with that focus, I'm here to tell you greater results will be produced. I hope you've enjoyed this particular episode of Success by Choice webinar, because I'm here to tell you we're on a journey and there's greatness within you. This is Marlon Sipo Smith reminding you to walk with purpose, because there's greatness within you. And remember, your success is your choice. Go ahead and write some comments, share some feedback in regards to this webisode, because I would love to hear from you. Because you see, each one teach one, each one reach one. Remember, there's greatness within you. Stay blessed.